I'm Josh.
Hey, Josh, how you doing? Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. Thank you so much for having us and taking some time.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah. You've got like every kid's
Dream
collection, right?
This is the hangout, the villains lair for the homies in their cars. So,
is it like your friends' cars as well, or is this mostly?
So this one is mine. This one is mine.
Yeah.
The 61 Impala over there in the corner that's disassembled is mine. I bought it from Big Boy. This is Big Boy's. The 62 is his.
Yeah.
65, I think it was a 65 Bonneville or something. No, that's a later Bonneville. That's his. And my wife's Mercedes, my truck.
It's funny walking through. It's like all of the ones that through hip hop, you're like, that was the car in that time.
That was my life's ambition, man, to just grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? Have a bunch of books, bunch of cars.
Yeah, right.
I got toy cars for, big shit. So, I just try to live in the mind of a 9 to 12-year-old.
I think that's all of us, right? It's like a balance of like responsibility and still maintaining that like all
Don't
that child stuff.
Don't let the child in you die. Don't do that.
So this spot is to come, relax, get away.
We do everything. We do events here though.
Yeah.
We store the homies' cars. I got the next two buildings over, so I own a third of the block. I'm trying to get this whole side of the street. We got a conference room up here where we do the marketing meetings, all that kind of shit. Yeah. In my office. But
it looks like you got some neighbors that might want to stick around.
Yeah, well, they cool as man. They cool. I got neighbors that don't give a shit about noise, thankfully.
I guess that's what you want to surround yourself with.
Yeah, it's an industrial area.
Like-minded people.
Exactly.
Doing like-minded stuff. Man, we went to the swag shop yesterday.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Mate, it was incredible. You've got a team there of like really good people.
Thank you. We got 3 operating and we're about to expand, I think, 2 more in the next year. So
cool. What was the reason behind starting a barbershop or opening barbershops?
It's a social space for working class men. Working class men don't necessarily play golf or tennis, so it's not like they can get places and talk.
Sure.
Just about, whatever's going on on hyper local level. So that was the place where, besides my grandfather and uncles and dads, that was the place where I got to see other men in my community and just see debate and see discourse, and that's where I saw new trends start. Like I can remember when people first started getting a box, high right, low left, that kind of shit. So it was just always a dope social space. I always wanted to own one, just as a novelty. And then we fucked around and realized that we were, building a brand kind of masquerading as a barbershop. So we expanded expanded into t-shirts and socks and other cool shit you could buy. And now we're extending into products. So, just everything in my life is a result of just shit I liked as a child.
That's it.
That's it.
But Nigo always talks about that. Like when he did his first hair salon, it was like, or barbershop, it was like, I just needed a place to get my hair cut. And then he built it. And then it turned into this big thing. But the sense of community in there was immediate.
Yeah, that's what everyone is supposed to, have a slight difference because every community is slightly different. You want it to be reflective of the community is in.
And respect that.
Yeah, like on the South Side shop, Evander Holyfield was the prior owner to Rick Ross's estate. Holyfield had lived on the South Side. Him placed people like Dominique Wilkins before, lots of folks. So when we put one of the first pieces of art, there's an artist named Chris Hobey here.
Okay.
Chris did the art that is in the Edgewood shop that looks like the old, propaganda style war art.
Sure.
He also does another style where he takes photo and paints, but he did one of like Mike Tyson. And I was like, man, let me buy that one and do a Holyfield one for me, because that fight was big here. So when you walk in the Southside shop, there's Mike Tyson facing Holyfield in that shop. And
that's an energy immediately.
Yeah, so that's it. So my thing is just I want the imagination to never die.
Yeah.
I remember my wife, and we were in Hilton Head, and she was telling me you can't wear cargo shorts and a Braves cap and t-shirts and sneakers forever. And we got off the elevator, and there was a couple in their 70s.
Yeah.
And the old guy had on sneakers, cargo shorts, and a Braves cap.
I gotta tell you, yesterday I saw an outfit that I've never seen before in my life. This is an older guy. He's got to be about 70 years old, right in front of the shop.
Yeah.
He was in overalls.
Yeah.
Button down.
Yes.
With a bow tie.
Yeah.
Gaiters on.
Yeah.
And pleats. He had like iron pleats.
You gotta love it.
It was perfect.
The creases matter.
The crease on the overalls. Yeah. And I was just like, that is one of the more inspiring outfits that I have seen almost ever.
The SCLC men you'll see down here, they'll wear red shirts with their overalls. My grandfather wore overalls every day of his life. I knew him. And until I seen younger pictures of him, like, properly dressed like a young, snazzy guy, I didn't know he could wear anything else, but we ended up burying him in his overalls. Overalls, big thing.
To be fair, when you put a pair on, They are very comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of release the middle section, and you're a little more free
you just doing your
flowing.
thing, and you feel free to work in them. You never feel bad about getting overalls dirty.
But it was like elevated workwear.
Yeah, absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
which we talk about. There's all these streetwear.
I got a Dickie suit hanging up in the back of my muscle car right now.
The Union suit.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You Dickies, overalls, railroad overalls, or the pinstripe ones, the white ones, the carpenters wear, all that. When I was coming up as a kid in the '90s, that was fashion.
Yeah.
Because it was, Jordans had finally broken the $100 mark on sneakers.
Right.
So you're like, if I get these fucking $100 sneakers,
yeah,
I just gotta get a $30 outfit.
Right.
I don't
the
have,
rest, you don't have money for the rest.
And the rest was just working. I can remember wearing doctor suits to school. You could just, whatever working class people were wearing became fashion.
And as long as you had the sneakers,
as long as you had the sneakers,
you could do
sneakers
everything.
and
That's
a fitted
an interesting thing. I wonder if that motivated fashion. It's just like workwear and all that stuff. It's like you spent so much money on shoes.
Look at Ralph Lauren. Look what Ralph does.
Yeah.
His whole Western line and the old Chaps line he used to do was always based on workwear.
Yeah.
Railroad, ranching shit.
Yeah, that double RL stuff is the same stuff. It's like at Cabela's for the same, but it's just a different cut and 15 times the price.
Or you could just do like our grandfathers and wear your shit until it has holes in it and let your grandma patch it up.
Yeah.
That just takes really working. Most people
you
don't
gotta
want
work
to do
hard
that.
and then it looks good.
It was easier just to buy these and actually go do the work.
So on our show, we come to a place and we gather ingredients from around the spot.
Okay.
And then we come back with the ingredients and meet with a chef and cook up a meal.
Gotcha.
Our meal is going to be at Taj's house.
Okay.
I know, a good friend of yours.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my sister.
And we're working with a chef here at Shea Butter Jones.
Okay.
Local guy. And we're talking to him the other day, and he said, in Atlanta, there's a lot of ingredients you can get from the farms, but the main ingredient is the people.
Yeah.
And that just lit us up. Can you speak to that?
It's an amazing place because so many people, like my grandparents were not from here originally. They migrated here. My grandmother in 1950, my grandfather in 1940.
Yeah.
I always tell people I like Alabama-style cornbread. That's a more bitter-style cornbread. In Georgia, they tend to sugar their grits and cornbread.
It's a lot of sugar here.
Yeah, versus in Alabama, it tends to be more bitter. And my grandpa, Brunswick stew. So if I got some cornbread and Brunswick stew, I'm great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's, the ingredients here are just like, to me, the neighborhood I grew up in. I grew up in a all-black enclave on the west side called the Collier Heights in the Adamsville community. And it was just all different types of people, though. Some people were Protestants, some people were Catholic.
Yeah.
Some people were highly educated, some people were just strictly blue collar, had only graduated 7th grade. But it was a hodgepodge of people that really cared about the kids in that community. So, I got an outpouring of, love and critique and criticism and encouragement to get better living there. And I was insulated from the bigger world that was more diverse culturally.
Interesting.
But because our grandparents worked outside the neighborhood, they brought interesting cultural stuff back. Like, my grandmother brought me back doing like, the family she worked for was a Jewish family. So first time we got a chance to, pastrami and rice, stuff like just like,
soup,
that's great. Exactly.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? My grandfather, in terms of introducing us to like more Italian style food and stuff that his friends had introduced him to. So that's how, and we got it with my grandmother's twist. She would make spaghetti, but there would be a tinge of something more soul food in there. But I learned that culturally, I had a lot to exchange with other people. And that was the cool thing about being not only a Southerner, but a black kid in the South, that people tend to commune around music and food.
Yeah.
And no matter what their race or ethnicity is, if you got good music and good food around, you can get people who are nowhere alike in their first minds to sit and find commonality together. And I've always enjoyed doing that.
That's it.
Yeah.
And Atlanta feels like it is a hub for that.
It is.
Walking around, it feels like utopia, but there's like actual integration. There's people, everyone's together. It feels natural and open.
And when you say integration, I want people to know it's not like people been forced to live next to each other and you just want to go to each other's schools. People in Atlanta still very much live in their own neighborhood of sorts, whether that be through class, culture, color. But people are not afraid to get together. And it's not just at Braves and Hawks and Falcons games. When you walk that belt line, you see a multitude of different people sitting together, eating together at restaurants, exercising in Piedmont Park together. And at the end of the day, they go back to their own neighborhoods. I go right back to the west side.
Thank you for that insight.
It's all black neighborhoods. My Korean friends and my Spanish friends may go right back up, north to Beaver Highway, but we're not afraid to get next to one another.
That's it.
And I think that ultimately that's it. There's nothing wrong with people culturally or living with the people they know. That's why you have Little Korea. I mean, that's why you have Koreatown, K-Town. That's why you have Little Greece. That's why you have Little Odessa. And you go to those places in Atlanta, As a black person, I'm not afraid to go to Buford Highway because I know that's where the bomb-ass Spanish food is. That's where the bomb-ass Asian food is. You know what I mean? I know when I come out of the Pink Pony, there's a Korean barbecue place there that I can go to. When you want great soul food, bring your ass west side and bring your ass to Southwest Atlanta. And then that's what that's about. There's an open invite here to be in places and spaces where people don't look like you. And that's another cool thing about community.
And that's the utopia to me, right? Because that's very unique to this place. So you have barbershops, and now you're gonna open a restaurant.
Yeah, my wife is the spearhead
Yours, your
of
wife.
that. Yeah, well, I'm opening it, but I can take no credit for making it. I literally, pulling up, I was on the phone as you guys saw me pull up. Most of our mornings went maniac. One of our lenders was like, I'm pulling out. And my wife had to step in with her personal and say, we got this, and make it happen. And I say that because for the last 2 years, her and Crystal Peterson have just been an amazing team at making Bankhead Seafood happen. Bankhead Seafood was the dive in and out place to go to. It was the place where everyone go to on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays, get a big box of fish, get in and out the door. But there was no place to sit down and enjoy the food that you loved or fellowship with the community. My wife and Crystal, along with me and T.I., as the partners, but these gals are the workers. They put together the deal. We now have a sit-down restaurant where there's a rooftop terrace. People are going to be able to come to get the same fish they've always loved in the expanded menu, our world-famous hush puppies, and they're going to get to sit with their family and have a drink and not have to drive 30 minutes north or south, but be right there. And it's legacy because this is the same place me and T.I. grew up.
I was going to say, like, you're establishing these places of gathering in where you grew up, so that you can invite your people to come. And that is the legacy. I think is super important, right? I have to imagine for you at this point, all these many years later.
Well, I just wanted to be my grandfather. He gave me a few instructions. You know, take care of yourself and your sisters. You know, don't embarrass me and your mama's name. It was him and my grandmother. Don't embarrass the family name. You know, he said, you know, essentially he said, don't embarrass black folk. What he was really saying was just make us proud. And my neighborhood poured so much into me. You know, my principals, my teachers, my camp counselors, you know, the other kids in my neighborhood, we poured so much into each other. I just want to make us proud. And I don't have to go far. I've spent the last 20 years of my life on planes, trains, and automobiles away from home. So having the economic opportunity to bring all of that back home is to me an honor. And to do it in partnership with a fellow rapper and friend, you know, like a brother to me, T.I., to do it in partnership with my wife and with the people who essentially we came out of the music industry, which is talent and imagination, but learning to be business people. It's been an amazing thing. I saw what Magic Johnson did for the economy here when he opened the Starbucks and the movie theater, you know, 20 some odd years ago. It added an injection to Southwest Atlanta that brought economic prosperity.
Forward thinking.
It inspired us. I saw what Deion Sanders and Dominique Wilkins did when they were players here and opening business and tending to, you know, to locals and make sure people had jobs and opportunity. I just want to continue that legacy ultimately. So it's not my legacy that I'm building first. I'm not the cornerstone by any way, but I'm glad to be a stone in the wall.
So hip hop is 50 years old. And you have been in it and relevant in it for
20 years and just did my best work ever. And
we've been listening to it to get hyped up to come hang out with you, and it's great. Where does it go from here? 50 years now, and in Atlanta especially is
the cool thing about Atlanta is our city logo is a phoenix. So, you know, people are familiar with that mythical bird. It burns itself up and reemerges. And Atlanta has done that every year for the, you know, every 2-3 years. Atlanta, you know, when I came into the scene, me and Tip were typical Southern lyricists. And we came up at a time where crunk was the dominant thing. So we had to figure out being lyricists at a time where crunk and heavy 808 was it, but it was like, it wasn't, the focus wasn't on lyrics. So crunk goes, you know, the rock star movement happens, the you know, the lean movement happens out of Texas, the Miami has a surge, all these things, but all the time, Atlanta's evolving, it's burning itself up, becoming something new. So I think that this city stays at the helm for a while. I think that black kids from all over the country continue to move here and contribute to what it is, whether that's Zaytoven coming from the Bay or, you know, or Metro Beats coming from the Lou. I think people continue to come here and add to it, much like my grandparents did. Where, you know, you come and you add and you make Atlanta more. That's what the colleges have done. That's what Spelman and Morehouse and Clark and Morris Brown, it's what Georgia Tech has done.
We keep hearing that.
Absolutely. So, you know, I think that we get more of that, not less. I think that we continue to push forward, and ultimately where it goes is decided by the audience. What they like will lend itself to what they get more of.
That's it.
You're still making music, you're making your best music. Like, how does Atlanta continue to inspire you?
I mean, Atlanta's inspiring. Like right now, I'm playing a brand new venue called the Eastern. I'm playing it for the 10th year anniversary for Run the Jewels, my band. I'm half of that band with the guy from Brooklyn. Every night we do a different album for 4 nights, and every night that audience is sold out and going crazy. And that audience looks like a Hawks or Falcons game. You see all races, colors, ethnicities. You see our t-shirts running around. You see a bunch of people happy together to say ATL ho. And that inspires me probably more than anything in the world.
We're gonna go have our final dinner at Taj's place.
Oh man, give my sister a hug.
I will, absolutely. Can you give us a soundbite about Taj, just who she is to you and who she is to Atlanta?
Oh man, she truly is the spirit of the city. She's a daughter of the West Side. And you know, for black people from Atlanta, they'll know what that means. When you talk about the Fourth Ward, you know, or the West Side, you're talking about enclaves where, you know, the lower, middle, working, rich blacks all live together. So whether that's David T. Howard High School, where she lives near now, or whether that's Frederick Douglass High School near where her grandmother's house was, it means that she serves as the spiritual reminder that this place is for us. And it's for us and it's by us. We have been creators here. We have been the stewards of this legacy. We have been the participants and partnership in what made this little town in the middle of the Southeast into an international hub. And without people like Taj, without people like her, cities lose their soul. And when cities lose their soul, cities don't become, you know, cities anymore. They're just simply places where mean people are mean to each other in matters of getting shit done.
Yeah, and making money. Yeah. Greatly appreciate that.
All right,
That
thank
was
you so much. I
spoken
appreciate
so
it.
well. Thank you,
Absolutely,
Mike.
guys.